Then there's an important article on the pendency of cases and the tradition of taking summer break by the courts every year. The authors in the article argue that breaks are okay, taking breaks is fine, but if all the judges taking break all at once is detrimental to the whole system providing justice. It doesn't work out well, considering the high pendency of cases in India, running into crores, sorry. The Supreme Court of India and the major high courts are on a summer holiday break, shut down with some vacation benches functioning to hear urgent matters. However, shops, markets, eating places, government and private offices, hospitals and police stations do not cease to work, even though their staff enjoy personal leave. On the other hand, somewhere in an Indian jail tonight, a man who has been convicted of nothing is finishing another year behind bars, his trial still ongoing and perhaps years away from ending. He is one of the roughly 3 in 4 prisoners in this country who are under trials. Here the author highlights the high number of prisoners who are under trial, not even convicted. Unconvicted, presumed innocent, yet serving time anyway, often longer than the sentence they would have received had they pleaded guilty. And as you read this, the courts, the public institutions that hold the fate of the poor in their hands are functioning at only a fraction of their strength. So from June 1 to July 12, the Supreme Court is on its summer break, sitting with 3 or 4 benches a week instead of a full court, and resuming in earnest on July 13. The doors are not bolted, urgent pleas are still heard, but for 6 weeks, the most powerful court in the world's most populous democracy idles. Now hold that against the number it is meant to be fighting. As of last day of 2025, more than 5.39 crore cases were pending in Indian courts, out of which 4.76 crore in the district courts, 63.6 lakh in high courts, and more than 92,000 in the Supreme Court itself, its heaviest workload in over 30 years. A government study once calculated that at the present pace, clearing the pile could take 3 centuries. 3 centuries, and the court takes the summer and winter vacations off. To be fair, the judges deserve it. The recess is when reserved judgments finally get written, when the brutal daily causeless eases enough to think. Last year, the CJI and his 4 senior-most colleagues worked clean through the first week of the break. Indian judges are among the most overworked in the world, and this is not an accusation of laziness. No one who has seen a judge's docket could make one, because that is precisely the point. When the people doing the work are exhausted and the backlog is biblical, what conceivable logic shuts the whole shop at once? Not that judges rest, which they should, but that almost all of them rest together. So the institution goes quiet for 6+ weeks every year, and the habit is a colonial hand-me-down. The calendar was built for English judges who could not stand the Indian heat and retreated into cooler climes each summer, then enjoyed long Christmas holidays in the winter. In 2024, the court announced a fix. It renamed the summer vacation as partial court working days. That was it. The number of days it actually sits, about 190 days in a year, did not change. You cannot rebrand your way out of a backlog. A litigant whose case is tough does not care what the recess is called, only whether his matter is heard and disposed of. So justice needs court continuity. So what would actually help? The first solution that the authors provide is that the judiciary's own watchdogs have urged for years, do not abolish judicial rest, just stagger it. A parliamentary standing committee in 2023 objected to the entire court going on vacation en masse and proposed the obvious: rotate the leave, keep the benches full, never let the court run thin. A hospital does not empty its wards because its doctors are owed time off. It builds a roster. The Law Commission and the Justice Malimath committees said the same long ago. They are not enemies of the courts, they were trying to save them from themselves. The standard objection is that all this is a sideshow. The real disease is vacancies, not vacations. It is true that courts are starved of judges, with up to a third of high court seats lying empty. But the objection boomerangs. If the bench is already running at half strength, thinning it further for 6 weeks every summer is not a defense of the recess, it is the strongest case against it. And while filling those seats depends on the government and the collegium and will drag on for years, the calendar is the judiciary's to fix. One reform needs permission, the other needs only will. Staggering the leave, though, only treats the symptom. The deeper fix is to keep disputes out of the courtroom in the first place. It was never meant to be the first stop for every quarrel but the last. India already has its tools, the Lok Adalats. Settled more than 2.59 crore cases in a single national sitting last December, at over 23.5 crore in last 3 years. Lok Adalats. They settled more than some 2.59 crore cases in a single national sitting last December, and over 23.5 crore in the last 3 years. Then there is the Mediation Act of 2023. Now nudges parties to attempt settlement before going to court. And arbitration can take commercial disputes entirely out of judges' hands. Yet these routes remain badly underused, but none of this happens on its own. The mediation and arbitration are another routes. The country has a reservoir of experience it scarcely draws on. Its retired judges who spend their careers mastering this very machinery and step down still in full command of it at 62 or 65. The expertise need to not retire with them, albeit many of them do function as heads of quasi-judicial bodies and tribunals. Freed from any daily docket, a dedicated corps of former judges could be invited to take up a single targeted charge, identify where cases pile up, set public targets for their disposal, and account for progress openly. Reform that belongs to everyone belongs to no one. The judges will keep working through the heat as they always do. The honest demand is not that they stop resting, but that the courts stop closing ranks and falling silent at the same time, same moment, because justice for 5 crore Indians is not on vacation, it is overdue.